And you're probably the most charismatic FinTech entrepreneur I know.
Thank you.
Because you do your thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And your thing also means, like everyone else, fundraising. And
Yeah.
recently you raised 30 million pounds.
Yes,
Was it in
yeah,
October?
yeah.
And you told me backstage that you got another 100 million as a bit of a surprise.
Well, it wasn't a surprise. We worked very hard from it, and it's probably worth putting some context to that. Back in February, well, there was a scheme set up to give awards of 100 million to a bank that could actually disrupt the SME market in the UK. So this money actually came from RBS. Now, we all remember that RBS took EU funding during the crisis. Mm-hmm. And in the crisis, EU stepped in and gave them billions and billions. As a punishment for taking government funding, they were told to sell off some branches. That never happened. But to compensate, they agreed to put money into a fund to be given to their competitors. And we applied for this funding. And because we were seen as being the bank, the new bank that can really
focus on the UK market.
Yeah, to focus on SMEs, small businesses in the UK, we were awarded 100 million. So that was great. So, you know, it's a grant, so we don't have to pay it back, and they didn't take any equity. So that is now the rocket fuel for us building the best SME bank in the world. So look out. Banks from that chart going earlier on Ricky's structure, but we are actually using that at present to really transform that market.
People follow in the news metrics, right? KPIs.
Yeah.
And number of accounts is one probably of the most followed metric.
Yeah.
But you serve larger customers. Can you talk a little bit about the difference?
We've got a couple of businesses. So we have the intention of being profitable. I know that's a bit of a novelty in this sort of world.
Especially if there's so much capital now, right?
we tend to be profitable at the end of next year. We have a retail business where we have nearly 1 million of customers, but those customers have 4 or 5 times the balances of our nearest competitors. We are profitable.
What's the average age, roughly?
Our customers tend to be late 30s.
But not mid-20s.
No, and those customers, instead of using their card for the, for the coffee shop, they're using it for the weekly shop. Because we have higher value transactions going through, higher balances, and therefore that retail banking business is very profitable, and we're able to use those balances to make money. And our SME business is growing very, very fast. To give you an idea, we committed to the Banking Competition Remedy Fund that we'd reach 50,000 accounts by the end of this year. We hit that target at the end of July. We're just halfway through that process. And then we've also got a banking as a service business, where everything we built for our retail bank and our SME bank, we allow other customers to use it. We have everything for a bank account on the end of an API. We have virtual account numbers, sorting codes and account numbers, and then we also have a payments business. Recently we announced the contract with SumUp. We've got people like Raisin using us for all their services. Yeah. So we have lots of interesting businesses that use our infrastructure.
Interesting. Now, doing such a great job in the UK, I'm getting a little jealous. Are you coming to the continent? Are you offering soon your services in other countries?
Yes, we are. We have been in talks with the Central Bank of Ireland for some time now on getting a banking license in Ireland, and then we'll use that to passport across Europe. So, my background is running big businesses, payment businesses across Europe. At ABN AMRO, I ran 34 countries. We come into Europe. We're very excited.
Then you got the entrepreneur's edge.
I basically sort of give up my job as a corporate person to start Starling. Yeah, we come into Europe and we're really, really excited.
Right. And you have 1 million retail customers in the UK. Are they mostly signing up virally or by themselves, or is marketing becoming more important?
We started the ad campaigns. You've probably seen us now on television and whatever. we appeal to people outside Shoreditch. You know, we have mass appeal, and the people that sign up for us, you know, normally do so virally, but they need the reassurance of us being a big brand, and you know, sort of outside, you know, London and the Shoreditch FinTech world, people really do know us. Yeah.
And is it right that customers come and they keep their other accounts? Do you see like an uplift once they join, that, okay, they check it, is it safe? And then after more and more months, they increase the deposits?
Yeah, so what normally happens is that the people who sign up and immediately switch are the people who are not very financially savvy. They're the people that have perhaps lower incomes, think that it's illegal to have more than one bank account, and, you know, and there are people that believe that. But the more sophisticated people tend to try us, and normally within 8 weeks decide to switch over. It's, it's sort of an 8-week process where
8 weeks.
Yeah, they tend to start by saying, "We'll use it on a holiday," or you know, I need a joint account, or I need this done quickly, or I've got a small business and I need to use it for that. And then they start using it and go, well, you know, it's a bit of a fluff to get another account. We'll then switch everything over. But then it's extremely sticky. We find that once people have been banking with us, you know, 14, 15 months, the balances they're holding with us are higher than the balances people hold with traditional banks.
Oh, really? Interesting. If you look at banking, right, you have lots of functionalities. I think Revolut is looking now to add stock trading, or is about to do it. What are the kind of core functionalities used by your customers? Is it just for money wires, loans, investments, or what are people doing, or what can they do?
Yeah, we're a bank, so we're really good at banking. So you can have sterling accounts, euro accounts, you can have debit cards that switch to debit the appropriate account depending on the country you're in. You can have sole trader accounts, small business accounts, multi-director accounts. We provide accounts for whatever your circumstances in, and we'll do it in multi-currency. We then have a whole host of payment options, saving goals for savings.
Pay interest?
We pay interest. We're a bank that pays interest, you know. And of course we have overdrafts and whatever. And then in our marketplace, which we have the insurance products, pension products, mortgage products. But we're banks. We do these things that we collect balances and we invest those balances. That's our business model.
Like a normal bank, basically. And
but much better.
And regulation, I guess you're quite happy about the 100 million, which came in, which was a regulatory issue, of course, or matter. But do you think that in Europe, or especially in the UK, the regulator is doing a good job opening the market to get apps like you on the set of mind?
It's very, very tough getting a banking license. You know,
it's a good thing for you, no?
Yeah. I started in 2014. I got the banking license in 2016. We were authorized fully in 2017. The hurdles are very, very high. You know, people, you know, sometimes I'm in the company of CEOs of the big banks, you know, the HSBCs and the RBSs and the Lloyds, and they say, and they think that the regulatory hurdle is lower for us. It isn't. You know, we have to do absolutely everything the big banks have to do. And that's right, because people trust us with their money. But I think that we are, there has been more and more banks coming to market in the last couple of years, but very, very few of them have actually built a current account. I think it's us and Monzo.
If you think about acquisitions, especially overseas, would it be a good way to buy an ailing bank and get, therefore, the regulations sorted very quickly and maybe take over some accounts? Will we see, yesterday I asked the question if we see traditional banks being bought by FinTech, and the answer was yes. What is your view? Will we see some love stories between online and offline?
Yeah, I think that there are dangers in acquiring a legacy bank in Europe. You know, the change of control takes a long time. The change of business plans and getting authorization. I think that going into a European country without having people on the ground that actually understand the culture is dangerous. and I see, you know, sort of a combination of both being probably where people will do.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
A lot of good news today from you. Can we go together?
Okay, good. Okay.
Say a big applause for Anne.
Okay.